WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Wales, Penderyn Portwood. Cool bottle. So, most of you have seen Penderyn Myth, Penderyn Mystic. Some of you have seen Penderyn Madeira. And then you actually have the Sherrywood, which some people have seen as well. And then you have the Portwood, which somehow is very localized at the moment, still in Germany and France in 2019. You have the peated version, which I'm not going to taste because I'm not a great peat head. And you have the brand new Rich Oak, which I also did a video about. That's the core range of Penderyn. Penderyn. Madeira, Sherrywood, Portwood, peated, and Rich Oak. These five are the ones you're looking for. Now, this is over here at whiskey base number 93426, 46%, which all of the whiskeys in the core range have, and this is 64 euros, which translates into about $80, which is much more expensive than the Rich Oak or the Penderyn or the Sherrywood, which I don't know why. Maybe someone out there can inform me why this is so much more expensive. Now, as I mentioned before in the other videos about Penderyn, maybe you haven't seen them, therefore just a very short, brief recap. The very special thing is for over 100 years in Wales, no one had distilled whiskey. Penderyn started to do that. Actually, the name of the city, village, Penderyn, gave the distillery the name. They are in the Brecon Beacon National Park in Wales. And that's where they get their water. They have a nice little spring there with a well with the way you get the water. And what they do is they use a Faraday cask, a Faraday pot still. I'm sorry, still, not pot still. It's a pot still plus a column still. The column still has 24 plates in it, so they actually can, in one single distillation process, take their whiskey up to 92%. Basically the same thing that happens with grain whiskey. And then they take it down to 36.4%, put it in the casks, usually an ex-bourbon cask first of all, and then they finish it. As I said, either Madeira or Sherrywood or Portwood or peated, just the peated barley there, or also rejuvenated European ex-wine cask would be the rich wood. All right, so now on the nose, it's just a very typical Penderyn. You could give me, I think, 50 different whiskeys and say, hey, Jason, I would no, Penderyn. It's a not yet ripe pineapple with graham crackers. And on top of it, instead of the vanilla sauce that I usually put, I have a little bit of raspberry, like a raspberry type of sauce on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my Tomatin 14-year-old Portwood. Let's put this over here. And I'm going to actually compare it. Now, the tiny little problem that I have, this is going to go over here, I'm sorry, is there's not much left in the bottle and it's been there a while. So I'm going to actually take a brand new sample that I received from a friend just within last weeks and use this as a comparison. I remember when I opened up the Tomatin 14-year-old about a year and a half ago. It was summer. It was outside. I was on my patio, and I was my first port wine finish whiskey. I had never had one before. I love port. I was in Portugal. I went to Porto. My wife and I, we tried about a dozen different port from the different bodegas and the different types of places there. And then I tried this and went, it's just not really my thing here. I like my port, I like my whiskey together. Usually it's not great unless it's Angel's Envy. Angel's Envy is one of the very few whiskeys I've ever had that combines the bourbon and the port together where I go, wow. And also the second one was not a finish, but rather a complete maturation from tealing in a single cask of a port for, I think, a total of 7 or 9 years. It was fabulous. Oh, it was so good. All right, going back to a Penderyn Portwood. Very interesting. If you take a look online, you might see some people writing about a 41%. Now, up until 2017, over here in Europe, they actually did bring out a 41% Port Wood Penderyn, but then starting in 2017, they actually changed it to 46%, and then they also changed the bottles used to be round. And now if you look at this new bottle starting in 2019, end of 2018, to be honest, they have these a little bit more like Havalon bottles. I love the design. Beautiful, beautiful design. Good. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't seem like it's been in the cask long enough for me. It feels young. I talk about these high notes and these low notes. If you take, for example, I recently had a Glenglassaugh 40-year-old. That thing was like a subwoofer. This is like the treble. It's so high. It's so light. It's so the tone, the taste of it is just so way up there. And the problem is it's almost metallic. It's so young. And the port is not really influencing the whiskey as much I would like. If I go over here at Tomatin. Yay. Whoops. Every single time I try this, that woody, old, yucky wood at the end, really just the finish is not the way it should be. It always gets me, and I'm just so sad about that. Now over here, I've had the Madeira. I gave it, I think, a C plus. I've had the Sherry Wood, gave it a C minus. I've had the Port Wood, gonna give it a solid C here. The peated, not my thing because I'm not a peat head, and the Rich Oak was also a solid C. Me and Penderyn were just not best friends yet. I don't know if we ever will be. Interesting enough, Penderyn also has a pot still. Not a Faraday still, but a pot still. And I'd be very interested to see what happens in the next years. Are they going to actually combine the juice from the Faraday still, 92% ABV, with a pot still running around 70-some%? Or are they going to have separate, maybe just single casks from that pot still? Why would you have two Faraday stills and then also install a pot still if you're not going to use it? And I do know that they are using it, and I do know they filled barrels, and the question is what's going to happen with that in the future. A mystery, who knows? All right, so my valuation is a solid C. Value for money, the price is a D. I think 80 euros is way overpriced for a no-age statement. Penderyn Port Wood, beautiful bottle, interesting story, but it's the juice that really makes the difference, and it's just not putting out there what I expected. All right, very, very good. My question of the day is, what is your favorite whiskey with a port finish and or / a port maturation? For me, of course, it's going to be Angel's Envy. It could be something else. It could be Tomatin. It could be the Turconel, the 10-year-old, or whatever else. It can be anything else that has a port finish to it. Please write it down in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear from you. All right, WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in German. Please like. Please share with others. Please subscribe if you haven't. And also, my videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American living in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskey. If no one's else done a video about it, I will. And it's my privilege to help you find out what will be coming, and also to find out what you might never get your hands on. All the best. See you then. Bye-bye.